Amid rugged terrain teeming with danger, hordes of wild boars gather to take refuge. But today, fearless hunters venture straight into their lair to track down these ferocious beasts. Do they have the grit to take down the savage horde? Breathtaking moments from treacherous swamps to dark, dense forests are about to unfold. Join us to witness every shot that marks their triumphant hunt. Coming up next. Rugged terrain, conquering wild boars in the muddy lands. The hunt across the Texas swamps will be the first battleground for today's clash. Deep within the marsh, Nick quickly spots a herd of wild boars foraging together. In an instant, he locks onto his target and pulls the trigger. The gunshot echoes, sending the herd scattering in panic, leaving behind the body of a hefty boar on the leaf-strewn ground. A precise, clean shot, an impressive opening to this thrilling pursuit.
Right in front of you.
More behind him.
Oh!
Get him, Jack!
At the clearing near the swamp, a lone wild boar, leisurely foraging, falls squarely into John's crosshairs. Without hesitation, he adjusts his rifle's aim and squeezes the trigger. The shot rings out, striking the beast dead on, leaving its lifeless body motionless on the ground. Another threat neutralized, another triumph added to the team's tally. Continuing to track the trail to the eastern edge of the swamp, John quickly spots his target. A wild boar, engrossed in foraging, remains oblivious to the hunter's presence. Selecting the optimal position and angle, he pulls the trigger. Flawlessly executed, the beast collapses instantly, without a chance to resist. Almost simultaneously, the familiar sound of gunfire echoes from other ambush points, signaling the mission's success. The threat is swiftly neutralized, ensuring these beasts won't ravage the farmer's crops, at least for today. A decisive shot rings out through the dense forest, where another hunting team has just arrived in their familiar vehicle. Upon reaching the site, they swiftly move to their pre-assigned positions. Mere minutes later, a wild boar ambles directly into Leon's crosshairs. Waiting for the perfect moment, a single gunshot shatters the silence, and the beast collapses instantly. An impeccably precise shot, eliminating yet another threat to the forest. At the same moment, deep within the forest, a hidden marksman spots a herd of wild boars entering his line of sight. A rapid succession of shots rings out, striking two boars at the rear while the lead boar escapes into the dense woods. Outside the forest, the barking of hunting dogs echoes. Instantly, a massive wild boar emerges. Without hesitation, a barrage of bullets is unleashed, cutting off the beast's escape route. To ensure no mistakes, the hunter approaches closer and delivers a final, decisive shot, completely neutralizing the threat. This meticulous takedown reveals just how cunning these beasts are, keeping the hunters ever vigilant. Another area is cleanly secured, restoring peace to the land overrun by these creatures.
You may have seen hunting videos before, but combining hunting with high-speed motorbike chases brings an entirely new level of adrenaline. This isn't just about speed or skill. It's our way of tackling the invasive menace that is the wild boar, which continues to wreak havoc on our farmlands and the lives of local people. Let the high-octane pursuit begin. After hours of tracking our target using the sharp ears of our hunting dogs, I finally pinpointed it, a massive wild boar hiding deep within a dense cornfield. My instincts told me it would bolt across a nearby dirt road, so I jumped on the motorbike and sped toward the spot. Right on cue, the beast burst out. Without hesitation, I pulled the trigger. The bullet sliced through the air, piercing its thick hide. The boar stumbled, staggered, then collapsed into the earth. Another hunt ended. Meanwhile, Garrick's bike was tearing across the open field in search of another target. There it was, from a distance. He spotted a lone boar desperately fleeing for its life. He hit the brakes, aimed, and fired off several rounds. But the first volley missed. It was just too far. Undeterred, Garrick circled around, cutting off its escape path. This time, with the barrel aimed squarely at its chest, the wild boar had been. I, too, was on the move, heading toward Garrick's position through the maze of cornfields. Suddenly, I saw it. A breathtaking chase between a boar and a pack of hunting dogs unfolding right before my eyes. I fired a few shots from a distance, but the boar kept charging. I accelerated, intercepting it just in time. The beast didn't hesitate. It lunged straight at me. Luckily, I managed to get off with a final, decisive shot before it could strike. The threat was neutralized in a blink of time. With multiple takedowns under our belts, both Garrick and I were fired up. Fueled by adrenaline, we raced across the endless fields, chasing any sign of movement. About 10 minutes later, luck returned. Another wild boar suddenly appeared. No time to waste, I raised my gun and fired in a split second. The quick draw worked, and the beast crumpled instantly to the ground. Using motorbikes gave us unmatched mobility, allowing us to adapt quickly and cover a wide variety of terrain. The moment we got word of another boar fleeing, we raced ahead to intercept it on a dirt path cutting through the fields. There it was. As it charged out from the brush, I squeezed off a flurry of shots. Caught off guard, the boar had no chance to react and dropped on the spot. On our way back to regroup with the rest of the team, we suddenly caught sight of a few wild boars attempting to escape. We barely had time to inspect the results when more boars charged on us. Acting on instinct, I surged forward and pulled the trigger. A perfect hit. The boar collapsed before it could react. We went on foot to chase down another boar that had just escaped. Relying on experience, I quickly spotted its location, leveled my gun, and fired several precise shots. The gunfire echoed through the trees, blending with the baying of the hounds. signaling a satisfying conclusion. And there it was. Only a lifeless black shape remained, lying still among the dry leaves. Stealthy ambushes, decisive trigger pulls, and every frame sent back brimming with tension. We've distilled the most intense, breathtaking moments. Do you have the courage to face this relentless pursuit? Watch now and feel every second stretch tight like a drawn bowstring. On today's journey, we begin at the Boar Fields, a vast, open expanse that, despite its flat and airy terrain, is the perfect hiding place for wild boars lurking between the edge of the forest and endless rice fields. Early in the morning, Pon's team arrived at the location, fully equipped with weapons and a pack of hunting dogs, ready to track down any signs of prey. After moving into their ambush position, 15 minutes passed in complete silence. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed very close. Pon instantly scanned the area. A massive wild boar, weighing around 400 pounds, had it sensed something? Not letting it escape, Pon squeezed the trigger. Each shot rang out with purpose. The boar collapsed into the grass, marking the team's first triumph of the day. Leaving Boar behind, we continue our journey to the vineyards of Tuscany, where the once peaceful rows of vines have become the hiding grounds of savage beasts. Ronnie's team came fully prepared, armed with gear and a pack of hunting dogs, scouring each row of vines for signs of movement. As they examined the ground carefully, a sudden burst of barking echoed from afar. The hounds had picked up a scent. In less than a minute, a wild boar burst into view, panicked and charging through the vineyard. Do you think it could escape? Ronnie didn't give it the chance. A single shot rang out swift and decisive. The boar collapsed between the rows of grapes. In this hunt, there's no place for hesitation, only the fastest survive. Bidding farewell to the peaceful vineyards, we head straight to Corsica, a rugged land of jagged rocks and thick underbrush. The terrain grows harsher with every step, presenting a real challenge, even for seasoned marksmen. But Finn wasn't fazed. He had set out early, weaving through rocky outcrops and pushing past thorny thickets in silent pursuit of his prey. While navigating a narrow trail, a group of wild boars suddenly burst out from the brush, rummaging for food. Without hesitation, the first gunshot echoed through the hills. The startled boars scattered in What would you do in a moment like this? Chase them through the unforgiving terrain or let them vanish into the mountainside? Finn didn't back down. He fired again and again, each shot shadowing the frantic steps of the fleeing boars. But the terrain gave them cover, allowing most to disappear into steep, rocky slopes. Sona's team was already in position, spreading out across various ambush points around the mountain. Sona quickly settled into place, eyes locked on the landscape, patiently scanning for any signs of movement. Movement detected. A wild boar, panicked, came crashing through the underbrush in a frantic escape. The moment the beast came into view, Sona chambered around and locked onto the target. John, a seasoned marksman, enters with one goal in mind: let none escape. After just 15 minutes of pushing deeper into the dense thicket, he spots his target. A massive wild boar, nearly 500 pounds, suddenly charges straight at him. The boar collapses at his feet, ending the confrontation in an instant. Thick with thorns and tangled vegetation, it's long been considered an untouchable stronghold of wild boars. Less than 5 minutes in, a wild boar suddenly burst through the undergrowth at nearly 30 kilometers. The moment it entered his sights, Jack pulled the trigger. A single shot rang out. The boar collapsed into the dry grass. A clean, precise, and ice-cold finish to the move. The harvest season is drawing near. People around here are all worried because around this time every year, wild boars start coming down from the forest and wreak havoc on the fields in just a few nights. So we decided to organize a hunt. Some prepared their guns, others brought along their packs of hunting dogs. Everyone understood clearly. If we didn't act soon, once the boars came down, all we could do was stand by and watch the crops get destroyed. We gathered at the edge of the forest. As soon as they were released, the pack of hunting dogs bolted off. Eagerly tracking the scent. It seemed they were even more impatient. The moment we heard barking, we knew the prey had been cornered. Riley was assigned to hold a position at the top of a small slope, the very spot where an entire herd of wild boars had been spotted. The dogs began driving the prey uphill from the base of the slope. As the barking grew louder, a deafening shot rang out, striking the boar. The claw but still thrashed around, refusing to give up. That stubbornness only earned it 2 more bullets, after which it finally lay still on the hillside. The team began to spread out to widen the search area. I moved forward slowly, maintaining intense focus. Suddenly, a wild boar appeared right in front of me, only about 3 meters away. It hadn't even managed to react before it dropped from a precise shot. Hopefully, the next encounters will go just as smoothly.
Bu sefer tamam.
The sound of barking echoed from deep within the forest. Without hesitation, I raised my gun and pulled the trigger decisively. The gunshot momentarily silenced the barking dogs, and the boar collapsed right there in its hiding place. After several hours of hunting, the pack of dogs continued to work tirelessly and eagerly. Thanks to their efforts, we were able to quickly detect another target and take it down with clean, efficient shots. Each successful hit brought a sense of relief, because every boar taken down meant one less threat to the approaching harvest season. When the forest finally grew quiet again, we had to use GPS to locate the pack of dogs. There, they were gathered in one spot on the far side of the slope. Just as we arrived, a dark figure suddenly appeared in my sights. Instantly, a sharp gunshot rang out. The boar dropped on the spot. The golden moment lasts only seconds. That's why, once you sense signs of prey nearby, never take your finger off the trigger. As I continued sweeping the surrounding area, I stumbled upon a small stream, an ideal feeding spot for wild boars. Let's see if we find anything here, I muttered to myself, keeping a firm grip on my rifle. And sure enough, just a few minutes later, barking erupted like a blaring alarm. A pitch-black boar came charging. I was ready. Without hesitation, I raised my gun and pulled the trigger. The shot echoed through the forest walls, bringing a dramatic and intense showdown to an end. The hunt was over, and everyone was exhausted. But at least, the upcoming harvest will face one less threat. In Ohio, wild boars are breeding at an uncontrollable rate. In a short time, they've spread across vast areas, destroying crops, damaging ecosystems, and threatening entire communities. Many countries have issued warnings because these animals carry dangerous diseases that can spread to livestock and even to humans. Hunters must take action immediately, not only to protect the harvest, but also to safeguard public health. If we don't control them in time, what consequences will we face? And who will bear the cost? Wild boars cause intense destruction, run extremely fast, and often hide in decaying leaf-covered forests, very difficult to track. The fight between hunter and wild boar isn't just a simple chase if you're even one beat too slow. The predator can become prey. The barking of the hunting dogs echoed ahead, growing louder with each passing second. Clearly, they had just caught the scent of a wild boar, and it was running straight toward me. Just moments later, from a hidden corner of the forest, the boar burst out. I raised my rifle, took careful aim. Boom! The shot rang out, and the boar collapsed instantly down and died. Gunshots echoed through the forest, ringing out from multiple directions. My teammates had clearly encountered and taken down some wild boars. And this was just the beginning, it was already this intense. This hunt was truly exhilarating. I moved into the adjacent forest, still scanning for tracks when a dark figure suddenly appeared, slipping between the trees. I immediately raised my rifle, holding my position, waiting. As soon as its full body stepped out from behind the trunk, I pulled the trigger. Bang! The wild boar collapsed on the spot without even a chance to turn around. In another corner of the forest, Michael, my teammate, had also tracked the boar's trail. Just as he raised his rifle to aim, the boar dashed across. The first shot landed clean, dropping the boar on the spot. But it wasn't over yet. A second one suddenly burst out from behind. Michael didn't hesitate. He chambered another round and pulled the trigger again. As I moved toward the direction of the barking hounds, suddenly two wild boars burst out in anger, charging straight to me. Without a second to think, I raised my rifle and pulled the trigger. The first shot rang out, the trailing boar dropped instantly. The hunt wasn't over yet. We were determined to take down the rest. Dark clouds began to cover the sky. We had to quickly track down the remaining boars before the rain hit. While following the trail, I suddenly heard a rustle in the bushes. Without hesitation, I raised my gun. A single shot and the boar dropped, not even getting the chance to escape. The rain had started to fall, and we had to head back. If it poured, getting out wouldn't be easy. On the way, I heard movement in the bushes. I immediately raised my gun, took aim. A dark figure darted past. I fired. But I missed. The wild boar changed direction, charging straight toward me. I quickly repositioned, cut it off. The second shot rang out. This time, it had no chance to escape.
Oh.